Welcome back to the Passport Pals podcast. I'm Josh.
I'm Olivia.
And we're the Passport Pals. All right, welcome back to the podcast. This is our first official episode. So like we said in our kind of intro, we're going to do 2 episodes a week, one more informative and one kind of recapping our travels. So welcome to the informative episode.
Yay!
Woo! So, and we have a few different segments lined up for this episode. So we're going to kind of explain them as we introduce them so you guys kind of know what's going on. But yeah, let's get right into it. Shall we get into the first segment?
Let's do it.
All right. The first segment of the day is going to be the Passport Report, where we bring you all sorts of travel-related news. What's going on now? And yeah, what's going on in the world over there?
Each week, I'm going to focus more on like general travel news. And I think you're going to focus more on cruise news. Am I wrong? Yeah. So more cruisy, more travel in general. So in case you didn't know, which is probably impossible because it feels like the whole world is talking about it. Real IDs. I'm going to say that probably 100 times during this episode, but real IDs. So essentially, back in 2005, this bill was passed. Okay. Let me get my resource back up.
Which I think is crazy. I had no idea this has been going on for 20 years.
I didn't either. Okay. So back in 2005, Congress passed the Real ID Act, which essentially like set standards for like identification, like what you can and can't travel with and what is like qualifies as a real ID. So basically it was passed way back when, and since then states have been rolling out these real IDs. And if you have got a driver's license like after 2005, it is assumed
it should have been
a real ID. So basically what you're looking for with these real IDs is this like gold star, insert picture here. And states have different ones depending on where you're from. It might be like a black star. It might be like a star in a circle. It might be, I think in California, it's like a bear with a little star on it. But essentially on your ID, you should see these little icons, right? So people are going crazy because they're like, oh my gosh, all these real IDs, blah, blah, blah. There's also what's called an EDL, which is an enhanced driver's license, but those are only issued in Washington, Michigan, Minnesota, New York, and Vermont, but they are also considered acceptable forms of real IDs. So basically, passengers who present a state-issued identification that is not Real ID compliant at TSA checkpoints and do not have another acceptable alternative form of ID, which I'll talk about in a second, will be notified of their non-compliance, may be directed to a separate area, and may receive additional screening.
So when did this go into effect? When do you need a Real ID?
May 7th. So May 7th, 2022, so literally 2 days ago, which if you're on TikTok in any travel capacity, I mean, I've seen like hundreds of videos of people being like, real ID, real ID, real ID, real ID, real ID. So I was like stressed. I was like, wait, I travel a lot. What am I going to do? Pulled out my driver's license and I have a real ID, but I also have a passport. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what is like acceptable forms of identification. And the list goes on and on. So this is where I start getting a little whatever. So Real ID compliant driver's license. Again, we're looking for that star. A state issued enhanced driver's license or enhanced ID. I just talked about that. A U.S. passport, a U.S. passport card, a Department of Homeland Security trusted traveler card, a U.S. Department of Defense ID, a permanent resident card, a border crossing card, an acceptable photo ID issued by federally recognized tribal nation, Indian tribes, foreign government issued passport, Canadian driver's license or Indian Northern Affairs Canada card, U.S. citizenship and immigration services employment authorization card, U.S. merchant mariner credential, veteran health identification card. There is a plethora.
But it's easier if you have a real ID.
But it's much easier if you have a real ID.
Just get a license with a star.
Right. Which sounds simple. Which sounds simple, comma, but. So we were like skeptical. We're sitting here talking and we're like, what is all the hubbub about?
Doesn't everybody have a real ID?
Doesn't everybody have a real ID? And like Josh said, like not everybody has a passport. Because I was like, why would you travel without a passport? But a lot of people don't have passports. So highly recommend getting a passport if you don't have a passport. Even if you're not considering international travel within the next 10 years, like get a passport. Like if you can, you should have a passport. Just a recommendation from me that nobody asked for. But upon doing research, we were like, hang on. So I guess CBS did a data analysis from April 7th through 18th and found that at least 17 states are less than 50% compliant with the law.
Which is crazy because they've had 20 years.
Bonkers. Absolutely criminal.
How do you not have a real ID?
Now, shout out to Florida.
And the one Florida sleigh, we're
90% over 90% compliant, along with a few other states.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think I've had a real ID since forever.
Yeah, and like we're pretty young, so we recently got our driver's licenses, and yours just got renewed to like the sideways one, right? Yeah. So we've had them rather recently. Now, if you've had a driver's license since before 2005, you probably should have already received an updated one. So if it doesn't have the star,
I don't know what's going on. I don't know why your state isn't doing it, but you need it.
Be alarmed. Start raising some concerns, okay? If you're in New Jersey, go to your DMV and ask them what is going on. Because New Jersey, you've got the lowest compliance rate at just 17%.
That's crazy.
Okay? Pennsylvania.
Well, they say Newark Airport's one of the worst. And it's in New Jersey. I wonder what the correlation is.
I've also been seeing that. Like, what's going on, you guys? What is going on? Are you guys okay? Pennsylvania, 26%. Washington and Maine, 27%. New York is 43%. California, nearly 55% compliant.
I just don't know how you've had 20 years and the states haven't done their job.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Right. It's crazy. So with that being said, here is how you get one. Okay. So visit your state's driver's licensing agency website to find out like exactly what documentation is required to obtain a real ID. Supposedly, according to the Department of Homeland Security, at minimum, you must provide documentation showing your full legal name, date of birth, social security number, 2 proofs of address of principal residence, and lawful status. Different states may impose additional requirements. So again, like check your state's website. But yeah, go get a real ID if you don't have one. Check your ID if you're planning on traveling, because cruises also require them.
Yeah.
Like,
are you getting turned away from the airport if you don't have one?
I don't know. We've seen mixed answers. So what I read on the Department of Homeland Security's website is that you may go through additional screening. You may have all these whatevers, like extra things that you have to go through. So like, if you don't have these things, maybe show up to the airport extra early and hope for the best. But like, don't quote me. Like, you may not be getting on that flight, baby. Like, I don't know, because I watched a bunch of TikToks, and like, I know that's not the greatest source of information, but the Department of Homeland Security says may.
You may.
You may. But various TikToks and people traveling have said that they didn't get turned away, that they just like were informed of their non-compliance.
Okay.
So like,
so you're supposed to have one, but you might get through without one, but you should have one.
Which it's also fairly new.
It's been 2 days.
I mean, it's been 20 years since they've passed the bill, but it's been in action for the past 2 days. So maybe they'll crack down more within the next month or so. Like, maybe they're going to be like, absolutely not, you cannot get on the flight. But from what I've seen, people are still able to board.
Okay.
So again, please do not go gallivanting through TSA and be like, the lady on Passport Pals told me you weren't doing it for another month. So like, please don't say that.
The law says you need one.
The law says you need one.
So make sure you have one.
Please follow the law. Like, please. But apparently your state isn't New Jersey. So so I'm gonna keep you guys in my thoughts.
Yeah.
But yeah, real
Okay.
IDs.
Get one.
Get one.
You need one.
If you can get a passport, get a passport.
Yeah.
Have multiple forms of identification, especially if you're traveling out of the country. We are both U.S. citizens, and I think I took 7 forms of identification with me when we went to Europe because I was like, I'm getting back in there.
Let me back?
Yeah, you're letting me back in, which I kind of wish I hadn't done. Maybe they should have just left me there. But anyways, that is my update of the week.
The passport report.
That is my passport report.
All right.
What about you? What's going on?
Well, MSC Cruises is building a new private island in the Bahamas.
No way.
Kind of.
All right.
Well, so they have Ocean Key Marine Reserve in the Bahamas, which is both of our favorite private island of any cruise line that we've been to. There's some we haven't been to, but of the ones we've been to, we love Ocean Key.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's beautiful. But there are, so right off of Ocean Key, apparently there's like a sandbar that they're filling in and developing. So I don't know, but it's unofficially named Little Key.
I love that.
And it's going to be about a third of the size of Ocean Key. However, I don't think it's going to be for everyone.
Gasp.
I think it's going to be for the yacht club only. So kind of like an exclusive experience. And you're going to have to take like a little boat over.
To Little Key. Oh my God, that's cute.
But I mean, it's a cool concept, and it's going to be a nice amenity for people staying in the yacht club. But yeah, and we were just at Ocean Key and we kind of saw it. There was lots of sand and like cranes.
Now enlighten me. Doesn't the yacht club already have a yacht club specific section?
It does.
So do you think they're going to get rid of that?
No.
Oh.
Or it's kind of vague what they're using Little Key for, but it's sounding like it's going to be a luxurious, exclusive experience. So maybe they'll sell a day pass.
I was going to say.
I'm not really sure.
Do you think it's going to be like an added charge on top of the yacht club?
Or
only for like suite guests?
Yeah, or I don't know if they'll make it so like Explorer Journeys goes there. Like if Explorer Journeys docks not at a dock and then they tender people to Little Key. I don't know. I think it's going to be an exclusive experience for the yacht club and or Explorer Journeys from what we see. So I don't know. If you're living the sweet life, you can go to Little Key.
I will start saving now. I would like to visit Little Key.
But yeah, fun new private island. Also, there's a lot of new cruise ships going on in the world. We're going to talk about MSC World America this episode, everything you need to know about MSC World America. But the same week MSC World America came out, the Norwegian Aqua came out. So 2 new cruise ships in 1 week, which is crazy. We actually saw the Aqua in port with the World America.
We did.
And we sailed past her as well, and I was freaking out. But yeah, lots of new cruise ships, new islands. That's what I got for the passport report. Now, shall we get into the meat of the episode? Everything you need to know about MSC World America.
Cue Pledge of Allegiance.
If you can't tell, we're wearing our red, white, and blue in celebration of MSC World America. And her name is MSC World America, not the MSC World America.
Are there typically these in front of...
Well, I always call cruise ships these. Like, we're boarding the MSC World America. But from MSC, like, we're boarding MSC World America.
Oh. See, I don't think I use these.
Really? I always use the.
Maybe
and
I
will
do.
always say, "Oh, we're going on the MSC World America."
Oh yeah, maybe I do. That sounds more
But we're
grammatically
going
correct.
on MSC World America.
That's not grammatically correct.
I didn't like it, but I like it now. It took some getting used to.
Okay, but try it with like the Sinfonia.
MSC Symphonia.
Oh, maybe it's okay.
So yeah, I don't know, but that's what MSC says the name is. It's not the. Like I would say, like, oh, we're going. Oh. Then like Icon of the Seas. Like I'm going on Icon of the Seas. I'm not going on the Icon. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going on the Icon of the Seas.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Let us know down in the comments. What do you say?
Do you the?
Do you the?
Do the?
Because MSC says no. She's just MSC World America.
Slay. She's just special.
MSC World America is the 8th largest cruise ship in the world.
No way.
Which is insane. Pretty large. Right behind Royal Caribbean. So all of the ones in front of her are Oasis class ships and then Icon. But nobody else is in front of her.
Baddie alert.
So yeah, I mean, there's like 6 Oasis class ships. But like,
and
so that's
Icon.
basically the same ship. So technically, I'm going to say she's the 3rd largest cruise ship in the world, even though technically she's 8. But like, all the Oasis class ships are the same.
Are they?
I mean, some of them are like 20 feet longer.
Oh.
But they're like 90% identical.
Okay, so she's the 3rd.
Yeah, 3rd largest cruise ship in the world. How many gross tons is she?
A whole lot. Baby, we are in 6 digits. 216,638 gross tons.
Wow.
What? She's also 1,094 feet long, 154 feet wide. So she's a thickie. I kind of like this.
Ooh.
There's 2,626 cabins, 26.
Ooh, that's fun.
I like that.
And how many people can she hold?
Maximum capacity, 6,762.
That's a lot of people.
That, listen. That is too many people. Like, we were lucky enough to go on the pre-inaugural.
With not that many people.
And let me tell you, it still felt like too many people.
It was busy.
It was busy. And I literally was like, okay. Now, I think I said this in our first episode. If I haven't said it, you'll hear it a lot from me. I just don't love the big ships. That's a lot of people. That's a lot to do. Like, unless I'm going on a big ship for like 7, 8 nights, which we've only done twice. I don't know. I feel like the FOMO eats me alive. Like, we went recently on a bigger ship than we have been, and I was like leaving with FOMO, like sad, devastated, even like just so sad that I couldn't get to do everything that I wanted. I didn't eat ice cream the whole trip. That's unbelievable. I didn't get to try ice cream the whole trip on this one ship that we went on, and I was like actually tearful.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just sounds like a lot of people.
It is a lot of people.
Yeah. I don't know. Now, you've been on bigger ships.
Yes, I've been on Oasis class.
Does it feel like a lot of people?
No. I think these big ships do a good job at spreading people out. Now, we were on the preview sailing of World America, so everybody was trying to do everything at the same exact time, fitting in 3 days.
I guess that's true.
Might have been why it felt so chaotic. But I think because the big ships are so big and hold so many people, it spreads people out into different areas.
Okay.
So people are kind of doing what they do.
So maybe I just haven't done it enough.
Yeah.
Okay. That just means I've got to book one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But for comparison, Icon of the Seas is 248,000 gross tons. World America is 216,000. So like 30,000 gross tons smaller
Whoa.
than the largest cruise ship in the world.
When you put it like that, it sounds like a lot.
Yeah. I don't know how much a gross ton is. A ton like an elephant?
I think elephants are a few tons. Aren't they?
So does it weigh 30,000 elephants more?
How many tons does an elephant weigh? 6.6 tons.
Is gross tons different than just tons?
Now we're getting into math. This is not a math podcast.
Icon of the Seas is 6,000 elephants heavier than MSC World America.
And it floats. And you add people to that, and it still floats.
Oh, also, MSC World America is powered by LNG, which is liquefied natural gas.
Tell us more.
It's supposedly a cleaner energy. So it's supposedly less emissions. So slay.
Peace and love, MSC World America.
So yeah, most new cruise ships are starting to be LNG powered.
Which is good.
Yeah, better for the environment.
Yes, protect our Earth. We love her.
She's also 16 decks high and has 7 districts.
She's what? Wait.
Oh.
How many decks does she have total?
She has 22 decks.
But 16
passenger decks.
What's going on down there?
Yeah, I don't know where.
Just kidding.
The other 5, 6 decks are, but yeah.
We love you to the crew. We hope you're doing okay down there. Yes, 7 districts.
What are they?
Family Adventura, the Aqua Deck, the World Promenade,
Love it.
the World Galleria,
Ooh.
the Terraces,
Ooh.
the Zen Area,
And
the MSC Yacht Club.
all right, should we dive into each district?
Let's do it.
Okay, so Family Aventura, it's kind of like the family fun zone. It's got the Cliffhanger, which is the only overwater swing ride at sea.
Crazy.
It does cost extra.
How much? Do we know?
I do know. Okay, so the Cliffhanger is $5 a person.
Oh, that is not what I was expecting.
Really? How much did you think it was?
At least 20.
Oh, yeah, no, $5 a person.
Wow.
Yeah. Also in the Family Aventura is the ropes course. That is free, included with your cruise fare. It was a pretty fun ropes course. It had, it was like 2 layers, multiple zip lines. It was fun.
It was so cool.
Yeah. And then we have the Jaw Drop Slide, which is a dry slide that drops you 11 decks through the mouth of a shark. That one is also free or included in your cruise fare. Last but not least, in the Family Aventura, well, not last but not least, there's also like a playground in the Family Aventura. We're not little kids, so we didn't really like experience it, but it looked kind of fun.
Listen, we tried. I was like, I saw that little lighthouse.
Yeah, there was a lighthouse.
And you can climb in it and then slide.
And there was a mini rock wall too.
But it said like there was like a weight limit.
Yeah.
I was like,
But yeah, there was a fun playground. And then last but not least in the Family Aventura zone is the Sportsplex, which is an indoor basketball court. They have a lot of other activities in there too. But at night, it turns into bumper cars, which was so fun. I love bumper cars.
So fun.
It is also an added charge. It is $7 per car. So the cars can fit 2. So it depends if you want to fit 2 or not, but $7 per car.
Good point. You could fit 2.
Yeah. And then now we have the Aqua Deck.
This is all you, baby. I don't know a dang thing. The Aqua Deck.
So the Aqua Deck is all of the pools, whirlpools, and the water slides. So MSC World America has 20 pools and whirlpools across MSC World America, which is insane. The botanical garden is kind of like an indoor retractable roof pool that has like, it feels like you're in a garden. It was really cool.
It was
some
really
cool seating, cool theming. It was cool. Then the main pool is the Mar Azul pool. And I love the main pool on MSC World America. It's like 2 pools, but they're connected. So it like looks like one big pool.
Yeah, there's like a
ledge in the sun shelf.
Yeah, like a.
But the water goes between them, so it looks like one big pool. It's insane. It's one of the biggest pools I've seen on a cruise ship.
A lot of space in there.
Amazing.
Yes, absolutely. Sea days would be
amazing.
glorious.
We didn't get to go in the pool because we were only on for 3 days.
We didn't step foot
in a single pool.
So
that's why it's a good thing she does 7 days, because you need all 7 days.
You definitely need all 7 days.
And then the Zen pool is adults only. In the very back of the ship, there's 2 pools in the Zen pool area, adults only. And then there's also pools in the yacht club, and then hot tubs around every corner. There were 1 million hot tubs on this ship.
And big
they
hot
were
tubs.
Huge, which is, I love it. I hate when there's not enough hot tubs on a cruise ship or they're tiny.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point?
Listen, if you've ever been on a cruise, it gets cold.
Yeah.
Even if
I don't want to be in the pool.
Yeah, like even if you're going early May, June, like it's a little chilly sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you don't want to be in the pool. Sometimes you just want to be in a hot tub.
And so many of them.
Yeah, there were a lot. There were so many.
I think around the main pool there was at least 6.
Yes.
Just around the main pool area.
And it was cool because they were like elevated.
There was some elevated over the side. There was some like they had stacked loungers on one side of the main pool, and there was like hidden in there and some other. It was amazing.
Yeah,
so lots of hot tubs. If you like a hot tub, MSC World America's got you back. Next district is the World Promenade. This is an open air kind of atrium in the back of the ship. If you've been on Oasis class ships with Royal Caribbean, it's kind of like the boardwalk area. But I love the World Promenade. I think this is my favorite district.
Oh, you do? You think so?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It was just so expansive. I don't know. It's 11 decks high because that's how long the jaw drop slide takes you. And it was really long. I don't know. It's home to a lot of specialty dining, bars. They do some like entertainment throughout the day there. Yeah, I loved it. I thought it was cool. And they have a cool light show at night. I love the World Promenade.
Yeah. I think it was my favorite too.
Next district is the World Galleria, which is kind of like the central hub inside the ship. It's 3 decks high, and it's kind of like just a interior promenade. They have a cool screen on the top, which shows different graphics. There's like a aquarium one. They had an American flag one. So yeah, that's cool. There's a bunch of different shops and bars and lounges within the World Galleria.
And that's where you enter, right? That's where they board you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a nice big staircase and chandelier, and it's just beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Next district are the terraces, which is actually within the World Galleria, but the terraces are kind of like these balconies overlooking the World Galleria that have a bunch of cool bars and specialty dining. Yeah. So it's a cool zone.
It was cool. It was nice to be able to like get through the whole ship on like a different, like when you're not in the middle of everything. Does that make sense?
Not really.
Like, I feel like on Royal Caribbean, for example, the promenade, there's so much going on that there's always so many people.
I see what you mean.
And you're dodging people and you're dodging tables of like merchandise and you're like trying to get to the theater after dinner and you're like, there's so many blocks and I'm like, just get me a moving walkway. The terraces are like above all the hubbub.
So you can still cross the promenade without all 6,000 people having one pathway.
Yes.
There's 3 pathways.
There's so many pathways to get across the ship, which I appreciated because I felt like I could get to where I needed to go without dodging people.
That is such a good point.
Yeah. I liked the terraces.
I like the terraces. Then we have the Zen area, which I kind of touched on with the Zen pool, but it is basically just an adults only area in the back of the ship that is kind of just chill, zen, relax. It's right off the buffet, but yeah. And last but not least, the last district on board MSC World America is the Yacht Club. So if you don't know, the Yacht Club on MSC Cruises is kind of like an exclusive ship within a ship concept. The ultra suite class butler service. They have their own pool, dining room, lounges, bars. So it's basically just a elevated level of service. So yeah. But those are the 7 districts on board MSC World America.
Yes. All right. So we already said she's sailing 7 nights out of Miami. Now, we sailed out of her brand new terminal, MSC's brand new terminal. Tell us more.
So MSC did also just build a brand new terminal at the port of Miami, Terminal AA, and it is the largest cruise terminal in the world.
So cool.
And it was huge. It can house 3 ships at once and process 36,000 people a day.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I feel like the entire time I was in there, I kept saying it feels like an airport. If you have sailed out of any terminal in Florida, you'll know what I mean when I say this. They're dark, they're old, outdated, sometimes a little nasty. And like, I know it's brand new and I'm sure she'll age as the years go on, but it's like so spacious, so many windows, big screens with like ocean views on them and like little sea creatures, and it was gorgeous.
It was so nice.
And so high tech.
Yeah, so they have fully automated check-in, so you don't have to go to a check-in person. There's these screens where you just scan your passport and then it will scan your face. And then when you board the ship, it uses the same technology, so you don't need a boarding pass or a room key or anything. You just go through the face scanner again and just walk on the ship.
It was so smooth. I think it literally took us 3 minutes to get through.
Yeah.
Like putting our luggage through a scanner, getting our faces done.
And walking on the ship.
Walking on, like...
And most of the time it's just walking, because it is a lengthy terminal.
Yeah, that is well, and that's also something else we noticed. For anybody who has like mobility issues or disabilities or anything like that, there's a lot of walking. I will say. So if you struggle with that, like maybe consider wheelchair services or anything like that. And there's no like seating when you leave the terminal. So when you're disembarking, they want you out, I think, is kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
I mean, that could change potentially. It's a very brand new terminal, so maybe they just haven't put in like benches or anything. But we were waiting for our Uber for maybe 10, 15 minutes and there was nowhere to sit.
Yeah.
Which is understandable. Again, I'm sure with so many people going in and out, they kind of want to get you in and out. But if you do have, disabilities or mobility issues, it's just something to consider. That was my one gripe. I think inside the terminal, there was a lot of accommodations, like for people to wait and sit. But outside there was not. So yeah, that was my one complaint, just because, there should be more accommodations when you're waiting for like a ride.
Yeah. There's also moving walkways to get to the ship because
Hallelujah.
it is a long walk. But yeah, because the terminal can hold 3 ships at once, you may have to walk 3 cruise ships' lengths to get to your ship. So they do have moving walkways, so you don't have to walk that whole distance. But that is the span. So if you're in slot 3 of 3, you got to go all the way down.
Oh, I didn't think that. I didn't know that.
But there were moving walkways, which was nice.
Are they always going to have only MSC ships?
No.
Oh.
Currently, yes. So I actually went to the ribbon cutting ceremony for this new terminal. And yeah, they did say that currently it is going to be used for MSC and Explorer journeys, but other cruise lines can and will use it in the future.
All right.
So yeah.
Good to know.
Should we talk about food?
Yes.
Let's talk about food. This was a big welcome change for me with MSC Cruises. One of my biggest gripes with them was food.
Oh.
Not necessarily the quality, but the lack of options.
Oh.
On all of their other ships, you pretty much just have the buffet and the main dining room. And they have a lot of new options on this, included
drama. Okay, let's get into it.
So what's going to be all of your included food venues on MSC World America?
Okay, so there's 2 buffets. The Mercado buffet, and I might butcher this, La Brasserie buffet.
Which is cool that they have 2 buffets.
Yes, yeah.
Kind of spreads people out, this almost 7,000 people.
Very true. That is another gripe about like too many people. Breakfast is a nightmare. It's horrifying. It's so scary.
Yeah.
People... I don't even eat breakfast at home, but let me tell you, I'm eating breakfast on a cruise ship, and I am one of the many people who want a waffle. Like, and it's so hard to get one. Anyways, yes, 2 buffets. Grab and go by the pool.
Ooh, it was kind of like, I think they had like burgers and pizza.
Yes. French fries, stuff like that. Main dining room. 3.
Ooh.
3 main dining rooms, which again, so many people, but very spread out.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Luna Park Pizza and Burger.
Which had more than just pizza and burgers, I might add. Had like chicken wings, mac and cheese.
Yeah, they did.
They had grab and go fruit and desserts and stuff.
It was awesome.
And it was included.
It was awesome.
So that was probably my favorite addition to MSC Cruises.
Yeah, and the food was really good.
And it was good. And lots of just, included.
Like chicken tenders and like very midday snacky food.
Yeah. Or we even ate dinner there one night because we didn't want to go to main dining.
Yeah.
We didn't want to go to buffet, and we just ate there.
Yeah, it was nice.
Yeah.
I miss it.
And included.
Yes. Promenade Bites, which we put a question mark next to because we're not entirely sure if that is included, but we're almost positive.
Yes, because we were on the preview sailing, so there was a lot of extra charge things that we were able to try for free, but I think Promenade Bites is included.
So check probably before you purchase or try.
It had like fair foods like cotton candy, popcorn, hot dogs, stuff like that, and it was on the World Promenade. So
yeah, and it was just fun.
Yeah,
it was cute. Then Harbor Bar and Bites, which I loved,
and that was up kind of by the sports area, the ropes course and stuff, and it had a lot of quick
a chicken Caesar wrap. Come on now.
Yeah. Nice and light, refreshing. They had empanadas,
cookies, ice cream.
Yeah.
They had just a bunch of fun stuff. Now.
Oh, wait. I want to go back. At Pizza and Burger, they also had soft serve included soft serve. That's a big thing because not all MSC ships have free included soft serve, and that's a hot debate in the cruise community. But they do have it at Pizza and Burger here on MSC World America.
We love a free soft serve.
So just note that. But
good to know. Added charge foods. Hola, tacos and cantina.
ooh,
Which we got a little taste of.
yeah, we've never eaten there, but we did get to sample some of the food, and it was good.
It was delicious.
And they have a bunch of fun blended margaritas and stuff.
Which were also good. I might butcher this. Keto teppanyaki. Also keto sushi. Butcher's Cut. That's a steakhouse, if you didn't know. Paxos on the go, which is Greek food. But they also have Paxos. So they have Paxos, which is... you can sit down and have a meal. Paxos on the go is like little to-go bites. Grab and go. Delicious Greek food. Fantastic.
And the theming of the restaurant was cool too.
It was beautiful.
Looked like Greece.
Yes. Beautiful and so good. Some of these are on the terraces and some of these...
most of them are on the terraces. Paxos is in the World Promenade. But most of them are in the terraces.
Italy. The only Italy at sea.
Ooh. Italy is a chain restaurant, famous one. I've never been.
Andrea's Bocelli's favorite.
Yes.
But yeah, I've never been to an Italy, but it's the only Italy at sea. We had the privilege of eating there, and it was good food.
It was, yeah.
Really yummy food. Italian, obviously. Les Dunes.
Oh, so this one, this is actually, I did some research on it. This is for anybody staying in the Aurea class and or suites.
Oh.
So MSC, if you don't know, they have 3 like experience you can book. Bella's the base, Fantastica's like the mid-range, and then Aurea is like the top of the line experience. And each one comes with a few different benefits. But this restaurant is exclusively for anybody staying in the Aurea experience.
Cool.
So it's kind of like a main dining room, but for suite guests.
All-Star Sports Bar,
Ooh.
which we ate at, and it was super good food.
And it was a big sports bar, too.
It was
huge.
It was. Sweet Temptations.
Ooh, this is kind of like a candy shop. They had gelato and
It
stuff.
was closed.
It was closed. We didn't get to go, but it looked cool.
Yeah, it was closed for like special events and filming and stuff literally the entire time we were there, which sucks because I'm an ice cream girly. I wanted to try it. The Coffee Emporium. We frequented the Coffee Emporium.
They had cool snacks and like pastries and sandwiches and stuff, which are extra, but they were good. Everything we had.
Zest Juice Bar.
Ooh.
Another thing we didn't get to try that I really wanted to try. It's near the spa. And the Jean Philippe Chocolate and Cafe.
Ooh, we spent a lot of time in here like, that was not something that was on my radar.
Mama's Hive got us in there.
Yes.
Shout out to her.
She brought us in there, and thankfully she did because it was delicious.
It was so good.
Chocolate drinks, chocolate pastries, macaroons, gelato, chocolate in general. You can build your own chocolate bars.
It was so cool.
It was incredible.
Yeah. It was really awesome. That's it for food. Should we move on to bars?
Yes. And there was this is another win for MSC, I think. There was a lot of cool themed bars. They weren't just like random bars where you can get your generic cocktail. Like, they were themed.
All right, bars. Masters of the Sea.
Ooh, this one was kind of, I think, like a country themed bar. They had live music. There was like a brewery in there too. It was cool.
It was cool. Lots of seating. Yep. Elixir Mixology Bar.
Ooh, this one had some fun cocktails that looked cool.
Fun
we didn't
cocktails.
get to try all of these, but they looked cool.
Yeah, it was kind of crazy we didn't step foot in a bar.
And it was in the terraces district as well.
Yes.
Kind of in between the restaurants and stuff.
The Gin Project.
Ooh.
I think that was the coolest one that we went
cool.
to.
I almost got one, but I didn't because I was nervous of all the options. But you could like customize your gin and tonic. They had like so many different varieties of gins and tonic. I didn't know there was different kinds of tonic, so you could like customize to a T your perfect gin and tonic, which was cool.
Cool. Fizz Champagne Bar.
Ooh.
And last but certainly not least, the Dolce Vita Bar.
Ooh, this one had live music every night too. People were dancing. It was kind of like the big bar in the World Promenade or in the World Galleria. It was cool. And the live singers that they had in there, they projected that sound throughout the promenade, which was cool. Like, we were at one end and like you could still hear that they were pushing the live singers' voice in.
Yeah. Now, one gripe. Not a lot of mocktails. Lots of cocktails.
Lots of cocktails.
Not a lot of mocktails. I'm not a huge drinker, so I frequent a mocktail, and like every menu I looked at, I didn't see very many.
Yeah.
If at all. Like the Elixir, we went in there and looked at the menu and even inquired if they had them, and they were like,
"This is a cocktail bar.
Baby, you're not finding that here. You need to go somewhere else." Yeah, they were like, "No, you won't find them here." So,
yeah,
if you're looking for a mocktail, probably not gonna find it here. But yeah, and then they had different bars,
and then they just had your
like
standard bars,
typical pool bars and things like that. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for food and drink. We were really impressed by
lots of options, which is a welcome change for MSC.
Yes, we were impressed by everything we had. Now, I feel like we barely ate.
Yeah, we didn't do a lot of eating on this cruise,
Which is alarming.
So we were just trying to do everything, but the food we did eat was good.
Yes. It was good. And we'll probably talk more about our experiences on our next episode.
We'll dive into like what we thought of it, but yeah, it was good.
Yes. Alrighty. Thrills and activities.
Ooh.
The nitty gritty.
There was lots of thrills and lots of activities.
Yes. So we've already talked about like a bunch of different activities and thrills you can do on board, but there's a lot more. She's a big ship.
Yeah.
There's a lot we haven't talked about yet. Entertainment. So you mentioned a few live singers throughout the ship. There's always live music on MSC and various other ships like cruise lines and such. But MSC, I think, always does ambiance really well. There's always kind of live music somewhere. Even like in the promenade, there's like a stage at the very back of the ship, and there was always somebody singing different kinds of music. So that was nice. But there's also Dirty Dancing in concert.
Ooh, the only production or only Dirty Dancing in concert at sea.
Yes. Now, I was not planning on liking it. I'll be honest. I like, if I'm going to watch like a show, like I want to see like the show, you know?
Not just the concert.
Not just a concert. Like just call it a concert. I guess they do call it Dirty Dancing in concert, but like, that's just songs. You're just singing to me. However, very nicely done.
Yeah, everybody was very talented.
Yes, a really good medley.
And they also had some other original production shows in the main theater as well, which were very nice.
So in the, what is it called? Family Adventura. So back there is the cliffhanger, High Trails Ropes Course, which we talked about, the Jaw Drop, which we talked about, and the Aqua Park is also a kind of in the same section.
It's part of it. They say it's not part of it, but it's right there.
It's right there. So tell us about the water slides, because I didn't go on the water slides.
So there's 3 water slides. There is a 90-degree drop slide where the floor drops out from underneath you. It was scary, but I did it. And then they have a race slide. So it's a body slide where they're right next to each other, and you and someone can race right next to each other. And it's like open between the slides, so you can see someone sliding next to you.
That's cool.
And then there is a VR tube slide, which is cool in theory. It wasn't that good, the VR aspect of it, but the slide itself was fun.
Yeah. All right, cool. If you have kids, Do Re Mi Land. We're big Do Re Mi fans.
Oh, yeah.
Do Re Mi is MSC's mascot. And there's a little land dedicated to him.
That's encompasses all the kids and teens clubs.
Okay, good to know. What else? We talked about the Sportsplex. The Loft.
Ooh.
We didn't get to do this.
No.
Which, I don't know if we're huge comedy people.
But MSC has famously not had comedy on their previous ships, which a lot of people have complained about.
Really? Really?
So, but now they have a whole comedy lounge dedicated to having comedy acts, and they also have dueling pianos in this space. So it's kind of like a mixed-use area, but they have a comedy club.
Cool.
And other live music in the same venue. So
very cool.
Very cool entertainment.
The spa. The spa. The spa.
We did the thermal spa.
I love a spa. Mm-hmm. I love a spa.
This was our first time doing a thermal spa, though.
Yes. So what do they have? Tell us.
They have a lot of fun, different like rooms in there. So they have a big whirlpool, which is like a huge like hot tub basically, but it's the size of a pool.
Fantastic.
Which was incredible. They had various saunas, steam baths, heated loungers, a snow room, which was incredible, fun. They had also this foot bath where you went from like hot to cold water. Apparently it's good for your feet. I don't know. A salt room, but yeah, just a bunch of different treatment rooms, and you can either purchase like an hour thermal spa pass. You can purchase a cruise long pass. If you're a gold member, you get a free hour, which is fun. But yeah, it was cool to have all these different rooms you could experience and just chill out.
And the saunas were huge.
They were big.
So you don't need to worry about like being in there with a bunch of people and not having enough space because they were huge.
And they do restrict occupancy like per hour.
Okay.
So like the whole ship can't go at once.
And they had a lot of different other like treatment things that you could do in there. Like there was one that like removed the toxins from your body and like I don't even know. We did like a tour and she was showing us all these different rooms, and there's like this bed that you lay in and they like drop you down, and it's like almost like a like an ice plunge or like a cold water plunge, and you can do a max of, I think she said 3 to 5 minutes or something. Don't quote us, but just a lot of cool
there was different
options.
Treatments. Yeah. So you can do, which are not included in the thermal area, but different treatments you can purchase.
Yeah, the spa was cool.
Yeah.
The spa was really nice. I liked it.
Yeah.
And then within the spa, they had a salon. So
Get
they
your
also
nails,
have
your hair.
Yeah, they also have the salon, and they also have a barbershop on board.
Yeah, dedicated barbershop. Maybe I'll get a haircut next time I'm on board.
Super cool. Yeah, that's kind of it for spa amenity treatments. Luna Park.
We don't really know what this venue is. But there was the Luna Park Arena, which was right off of the World Galleria, which I think is a mixed-use space that they do a lot of family activities in. We weren't on board for a full 7 nights, and we don't have kids, so we didn't really pay attention to all those activities. But I'm pretty sure it's a mixed-use space for family activities.
Cool.
But it's a cool venue.
Yeah, cool. They have a gym. We don't go to the gym.
And it's got Techno Gym technology. So if you're particular on your gym equipment, they use Techno Gym.
We don't go to the gym.
No.
If you go to the gym, I'm happy for you. And I hope you like it. They have the theater, which is where Dirty Dancing in Concert is. And then they had various shows. Tiny theater.
It was pretty small.
Yeah. I think small for that class of ship. Like I was expecting a grand theater.
They did have 2 show times per night, but it was kind of small.
A little tiny. Yeah. The Panorama Lounge.
This was kind of a cool, unique entertainment lounge in the back of the ship. If you've been on Royal Caribbean Quantum class ships, it was almost identical to the 270 lounge that they have in the back of the ships. But it's kind of just like a unique. They'd have shows in there. We didn't get to see one, unfortunately, because we were only there for 3 nights, like we said. But they have unique shows in there.
It was pretty.
Yeah.
There were like big windows. It was nice.
Yeah.
And then last but most certainly not least, the moment you've all been waiting for, the casino.
My favorite place on a cruise ship. I didn't gamble once. Not once.
Oh, yeah, you didn't.
I know, it was so sad. There was no time.
There was no time.
But the casino is smoke-free. They do have a small smoking casino that's in its own room, but the vast majority of the casino is smoke-free. So whether you want to be smoke-free or not, you have a section for you. And they had a lot of fun games. I did walk through there and look at all the games. They're all modern and new and all the fun games that you love.
So there's something for everybody.
Yeah.
There's things for kids. There's things for adults. There's things for...
I think especially for kids and families, MSC World America is the best ship in their fleet for families.
Slay.
Some of their other ships too. There's a lot of fun stuff for families, but this is the best, hands down, I'd say.
There you go.
Last but not least, MSC World America.
Rooms. Where can we stay? What's it going to look like?
And there's some fun ones in here.
There's
not just your standard whatever.
There are. Tell us more.
So, of course, we have inside rooms. They also have solo specific inside cabins. So if you're a solo traveler, they have inside cabins built just for you.
Which were pretty spacious. We got to tour a lot of the rooms.
Yeah, and they were they felt I could fit 2 people in that inside room for one.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of room. And I think for 7 nights, like
yeah,
I could get comfy.
And it was a full-size bathroom too in the solo rooms. Like sometimes on other cruise lines with solo rooms, they kind of shrink the bathroom too, but it was a standard bathroom that you have in all the other rooms, which was nice. They also had regular ocean view rooms as well as solo ocean view rooms. Again, so if you're a solo traveler who wants a window, they had that for you as well. Then they have. Now, this is a fun one, an infinite ocean view room. So this had a floor-to-ceiling window, but it's also convertible, so it turns into a balcony.
What?
Yeah, they have it on some other ships, like some of the new Royal Caribbean ships, celebrity ships have it, but it is a full wall of windows, and then you hit a button, and the top half comes down, and then you have a balcony.
Okay, I like it. A little scary.
Oh. Scary.
Sounds potentially dangerous.
Oh.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd be booking a room like that with kids. You know?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, we did see them, and like the window, like it's up pretty high.
Yeah.
Like it's not going down too far. But I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they're built tough.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I don't know.
I'm not concerned about the safety, but I still don't know if I like it. Like, I think your room would get hot.
Yeah, I was just going to say that. I was like, ooh.
But I do like the full wall of windows. So
yes.
If I was getting that room, I would mainly just keep it closed, I think.
I just like to keep, like, when we're on the balcony, we close the door.
Yeah.
Because it gets too hot. So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. But then moving on, regular balcony rooms, they have ocean view balconies as well as promenade view balconies. So these are internal balconies looking into the world promenade. So it's kind of like an internal view. But if you get some that are closer to the edge, you kind of get the promenade view and the ocean view, which I kind of liked. We toured those and I liked that view. Moving on, then we have various suites and then we get into the yacht club. So everything before that, even there are some suites not in the yacht club. So if you get a suite thinking you're getting in the yacht club, that's not necessarily the case. But then now once we get into the yacht club, they have inside rooms in the yacht club. Then they have various suites. A couple suites I want to highlight in the yacht club. They have a duplex suite, which is a 2-story suite within the yacht club.
That is so cool.
And it's kind of like the Crown Loft suites, if you know anything about Royal Caribbean suites, if you've seen them. It kind of looks similar. There's kind of like a loft, and it's 2-story. But yeah, that looked cool. And then they have much bigger rooms, like 2 bedrooms and huge as well. But yeah, that's pretty much an overview of all of the rooms on MSC World America.
Nice. She's big.
She's very big.
She's beautiful.
Very beautiful.
She's fun.
Very fun.
She's got something to offer for everybody.
Every single person.
And if you want to hear what we thought,
stay tuned for our next episode where we're going to dive in. We're going to take you through our 3 days on board MSC World America, everything we did, all of our thoughts, what we loved, what we hated, what worked, what didn't. We're bringing you along. So stay tuned for the next episode this week.
We said 3 days wasn't enough, but let me tell you.
We still did a lot.
We jam-packed her. We packed her tightly full. We were booked.
Yeah.
Booked and busy.
Very booked.
So we've got lots of opinions, lots to tell you about.
So yeah, stay tuned for Friday this week where we'll talk about that. But that is everything you need to know about MSC World America, all the nitty gritty. Shall we get into our last segment of the episode?
Let's do it. So this segment is called Wish We Had Known. So these are little things, little experiences that we've had that like we wish we had known.
Yeah, it would have made it easier beforehand.
Wish we had done a Google search. Wish we had done a little more research.
Or wish we knew we needed to research about this.
Yes, or like wish we had known before like listening to other people.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna get into that. So wish we had known. Tourist taxes.
They'll sneak up on you and they add up.
They will and they do. So what is a tourist tax? It's a European tourist tax, also called a city tax, which usually consists of a fee that applies per person per night. So it's payable locally, usually at checkout from your accommodation. Now, When we were in Europe, we stayed primarily in Airbnbs, and some of them only took cash. So another thing to consider is you may need euros. Like you may have to get cash euros to pay that tourist tax. It ranges differently depending on where you're staying. But when we were in Italy, we had to pay a tourist tax every single time we stayed somewhere. So just something to consider when you're traveling, to plan to pay
extra. You think your Airbnb's $150 a night, but then when you get there, you're probably gonna have to pay an extra like $50.
Yeah.
But even we just booked a different one for Europe, and it said this is how much it costs, but you're gonna have to pay this when you get there. You can't pay it. So
yes. Yeah.
You can't prepay it.
You cannot prepay. So maybe we should pack some extra euro just in case. Yeah. But yeah, a tourist tax. So do your research depending on where you're going. Make sure that you plan in advance to pay a little bit extra per person per night. I'm not sure what it ranges depending on like minors versus adults, but do your research. Like just double check.
But it is a thing you need to plan for and pay.
Yes, it is a thing.
And wish we had known beforehand.
Wish we had known.
My wish we had known kind of ties back into MSC Cruises. So when you go on a cruise, when you do your onboard account, you can either link a credit card or you can put cash down on your card, and it's kind of just like that's how all your onboard expenses are paid. But with MSC Cruises, they do it differently than the other cruise lines. The other cruise lines, you set up a card before your cruise, or when you get on board, you put cash down at guest services. Fine and dandy. MSC Cruises does it a little differently, and we've ran into some issues multiple times. And when we went on our first MSC cruise ever, we didn't know this was a thing. And we're like, wait, why can't I buy something? Because we tried setting it up beforehand. But yes, with MSC Cruises, you can't pre-set up your credit card. Once you get on board, they have kiosks, almost like a little ATM set up around the ship, many different decks and places, where you have to tap your cruise card and then add on either cash to your account or whatever credit card, but you have to go to this little machine to set it up. You can't do it beforehand. So yeah, just something to know. And they won't let you make any purchases on board until you have some form of payment set up, but you have to go to this machine to set it up. So this is something I hope MSC changes in the future. Now, I do like that they have the machines around, because sometimes I do want to pay down my bill with cash, and it's nice that they have those machines where you can do that so you don't have to wait in a guest services line. But I don't like that you always have to go to a machine to set it up regardless. So I wish they found a hybrid.
Yeah. Maybe something you can put in your routine. Muster drill, credit card machine.
Yes.
Go
do
straight
it right
there.
away. Day one.
Do it right away. You don't want to get stuck not being able to buy something you want.
You're not carrying your credit card around on your cruise because you think, oh, I'm just charging it in my room. But then you can't buy anything, and then you got to go back to your room. So yeah, it's annoying. But just know, wish we had known, you have to set up your card at a little kiosk on day one.
Yeah, we'll see what MSC does. Maybe they change that in the future, but they also
Hopefully.
just released a brand new ship and they have them.
Yeah.
So maybe not.
Now you know, because we didn't know.
Wish we had known.
Wish we had known.
Alrighty, friends.
But that is everything you need to know about MSC World America, our first official episode here on Passport Pals.
Stay tuned for all that we thought about the MSC World America.
Yeah, next episode. Also, we want to hear from you. So if you have any travel hot takes, crazy travel stories, anything travel related really you want us to react to, let us know. So visit passportpalspodcast.com and let us know, and we'll react to all your travel thoughts here on the podcast. But with that, we will see you guys on the next episode.
Where to next?